Hello everyone, welcome back to the Power BI projects course. This project is the Olympics Dataset Analysis project, and we are trying to analyze the historical data of the Olympics Games. In the previous few videos, we have already seen how to clean this dataset using Power Query Editor, and then we have seen how to create these two beautiful visualizations with very simple arrangements. Now we would be proceeding with a few more visualizations. We would be seeing how can we create them. So let's get started. The third visualization that we are going to create is about the players. So if you are wondering that how am I creating these visualizations, or how am I just saying that one visualization after the other, the thing is there are actually two things. Firstly, I have just created a report for reference so that I have an idea in mind how to do that. But for the people who are doing that for first time, what you can do is you can take a look at the columns that are present in your final data set. You have to create a visualization that employs all these columns, right? Because these are something that is important. So you have to create visualizations that uses all of them. You can use the trial and error method, like create different visualizations, try to open the columns and try to get the results. So whichever visualization gives you the best result is the one that goes finally into your report. So what I'm going to do is going with this kind of a chart, this stacked column chart. Let's just create one for ourselves and let's change its size a little bit. Okay, actually the size is not an issue over here because we would be just changing the size multiple times before adjusting them all into the report. So you can just not worry about that. Further, you can also go into the focus mode to get a better insights at the visualization. So what we are going to do is work with the players. So the players can be found with this help of this name column. So that I'm going to drop it into the access part. Next we have is the values part. So we are going to rank the players on the basis of the number of the medals that they have won. So let's just get the medals into the values part, and automatically it takes the count of the medal. So now we are again getting a slider with too many players. So let's just do the same thing that we did with the countries. That is, instead of all the players, we are going to get just the top 10 players, or basically top 5 players, or basically whatever you want, the number you can decide. If you want, you can also select the bottom 10 players, like the players that have secured the least number of medals in the history of the Olympics Games. So then you have to specify the criteria. So the criteria is going to be the count of the medals. Now there are two things, the count of the medal and the count distinct. Now what are these two things and what is the difference between these two? We will see it just a few seconds later. But right now let's just work with this count and click on apply filter. Now as soon as I did that, you can see I'm getting very small number of players. That's 10 players, or the 10 participants. That's looking good. Now what we can do is, okay, they are sorted on the basis of the number of the medals that they have won. So what we can do right now is actually classify these medals. So we can just drag and drop this medal into the legend part. So these medals are classified like what is the number of the medals that they have won, the different kinds of the medals. So what we are going to do is, as you can see, NA is also present. So the data that we are getting is incorrect. Like if right now what we are getting is the data of the players who have not won the medals, like who have participated in the games and have failed at most. Like we have Robert Tate McKenzie over here, who has got 57 NAs in his name, and this is the blue part, that is of a bronze medal, and one bronze medal he has won. So this is what we are getting, and this is what happens. The erroneous data is visualized if you don't take proper care while using your filters, while using your data values. So to remedy this situation, what we are going to do is go into this medal, make sure the select all is selected, and uncheck this blank and NA. As soon as we did that, you can see Michael Fred Phelps, who is considered one of the greatest athlete in the Olympics, has popped up to the top position here. with the most number of the gold medals. So this is the correct data that we are getting, right? Now what I'm going to do, if you want, you can just hide these panes to get a better look at your visualization. What I'm going to do is format the data colors. So you need to go to this format tab in the visualizations, go to data colors. For the bronze medal, I'm just going to select the shade of brown. For the gold medal, I'm going to select a color or a shade of gold. And for the silver medal, let's just go with a shade of gray, right? So yeah, it's looking good. Next, what we can do is turn this data labels to on, so that we get the count of the medals. Like Michael Phelps has won 23 gold medals. On the second number is Larissa and Paavo Johannes Nurmi. There is a tie between these two, both with 9 medals, and so on. So this is the kind of the data that we are getting, right? We can change its title as well. If you just go to this title option, we have count of medal by name and medal. So this is not a good title, right? What we can do, distribution of medals among players, medals among top 10 players. So that would be better, top 10 players, right? And we can just align it and increase the size to get a better view. Then once the changes have been applied, you can click on back to report option, so as to get a view that how this visualization is going to look. Now this is something that we have created. Now let's use another of our fields that we have got, and that is this. If you just open this up, we have used the medal fields, we have used the country field, we have used the gender field, we have used the name field. Now what field we are going we have left with is the age field, the season field, the sport field, and the year field, right? So let's just use this sport field, right? So let me just create another page because this page is filled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see that which sports gave the most medals, right? So for this, we can use a very simple visualization such as a tree map. This is a tree map. It is used for these kind of purposes, like the distribution of the data or when the volume of the data is concerned. So let's just get the sport into the group and the medals into the values. Now not just the medals, we want the count of medals. You can see this is again huge with a very contrasting color scheme. So firstly, what I'm going to do is fix this color scheme. So how am I going to do that is just go to this formats option. Here is this data colors. If you just go to this advanced controls, right? Now don't just scroll down, because there would be the list of all the sports that are available. If you want to individually color them, that is going to take a lot of time. So we are just going to go to the advanced controls option. For the lowest value, let me just select a shade of brown, because that is actually a color of bronze medal, so kind of like that. And then for the gold, we have selected this shade of golden, so let's just select that for the maximum value and click on OK. Now what happens is here is what we are getting, right? These sports. If you want, you can apply a filter on these sports as well. So let's just go to the filters pane. Sports, we are just going to concern ourselves about with the top 20 sports maybe. So top 20 sports by the medals. Count of medals again would be the criteria, and click on apply filter. So you need to wait for a few seconds, and yes, this has been changed. Now in case you want some information like what is actually the number of medals that have been given out by these sports, so what you can do is just drag this medal part into this kind of a details field. So medal into this details, and we don't want medals, we want the count of the medals. So we can go to this option of new quick measure, or actually we can just remove this medals. What we can do is we can just leave it like this only if you don't want any kind of information from this, because it is showing you the distribution, okay, like this. You can just change its size. If you want to change the fonts, etc., you can just change it over here. But what I'm going to do is just change the title. So distribution of medals, not the count of the medals, distribution of medal by sports. Okay, so this is the tree map. That means athletics has given the most number of medals, followed by gymnastics, swimming, shooting, and so on. Now this visualization is also complete. Next visualization that we are going to work upon is going to be based upon the seasons, right? So let's just get the seasons parameter into play. Let me get this clustered bar chart actually, or what we can do is get this stacked bar chart, or basically we can just get this stacked bar chart. There are actually two types of stacked bar charts, the stacked bar chart and a 100% stacked bar chart. So what is the difference between the two? Let's just see it practically. Suppose we get the season and the medals. So let's just get the season into the axis part and the count of medals into the values part. Now what we are getting is a normal stacked bar chart. So we are getting, okay, that summer season has got more medals than the winter season, or summer games are distributing more medals, right? But if we just go to this 100% stacked bar chart, then both of these values become similar, because for this whole number is taken as a 100% criteria. That is why this distribution is not looking very good visually. Okay, so what we are going to do is just go with the stacked bar chart and apply the country in the legend as a filter. So we don't want all the countries again. What we can do is apply a filter to that instead of all the countries, we get basis of top 5 countries basically, and how the distribution of the medals among them is. So the criteria is again going to be the count of the medals, and click on the apply filter option. So yeah, the filters have been applied. Again, the colors are taken very randomly. So if you want a kind of a uniform distribution among all your visualizations, what you can do is go to this format option and work with these data colors. So you can just choose any of the colors that you want. Even if you are not satisfied with the colors that you have chosen, you can automatically go to this revert to default option to just undo those changes. But what I'm going to do is leave that colors part to you. I'm just going to just change the title, that is distribution of medals by season and country. That is going to be okay for me. Now what we want to do is change the color scheme of this particular visualization, and once we do that, we are done with this visualization also. So that you can do as per your choice. And that's it for this video. I will meet you all in the next video, where we would be discussing about creating more visualizations and the individual characteristics of all of those. So that's all. Thanks for watching.